Hi, Holly. How are you? Welcome, welcome. Welcome those watching the replay and those just joining shortly. I'm going to share this. Hi, Kelly. How are you? Okay. I've got people outside, like, doing yard work. So there's a weed whacker in the background if you hear that. On your way to go golfing? Awesome. I know you love golfing. Sounds like a wonderful day. Is it nice weather there or is it like hot? Okay, here we go. I'm done with that. All right. I'm running a little behind. I had some work and stuff to do this morning, so I've been kind of behind on my normal podcast prep. So we're just going to flow with it because that's all we can do, right? Okay. 73 and sunny. That's hot for me. Oh, 73 and partly cloudy would be perfect, but hi, Helena. Oh, you're welcome, darling. Hi, Wendy. On your way up for the moment. I love it. Just flow with it. That's all we can do, Kelly. Just flow with it and try to feel through everything and then come back to balance. It all ends up, leveling out soon. Hi, Katie. Oh, you're at the beach watching the sunset? How gorgeous. Love it. Soak it in for me. I've been missing the beach lately. I was raised at the beach pretty much. Every weekend, I was over there with my grandparents. We only lived about an hour and a half away. So every weekend I was there with them fishing and doing all kinds of stuff. Hey, Matt. We're doing good. How are you? Okay. I literally got the last cards put down like 4 seconds before the countdown ended. So, and there's not as many today. Not like I didn't try. I was shuffling like a mofo, but um, it's not a short message by any means. But yeah, it's just today energy seems a little bit kind of slow, kind of wonky, just a little bit. Yeah, sun gazing is the best, Matt, especially on the beach. I love like walking along the beach and looking at the tidal pools whenever it's low tide. That's usually, well, for where I was from in California, morning time. Hey, Cassandra. How are you, gorgeous? Nice to see everyone filing in. All right, we'll get started in a sec. Oh, okay. So this goes kind of with with what we already talked about. Hello, hello. All right, we have emotional release on the bottom of the deck. I just realized I don't have my microphone on or anywhere near me, so let me grab that real quick. um, Let me inch over here. Okay. The microphones are in this little case. In the case, you plug in like earbuds. So I had it plugged in charging to make sure that they had power, and I almost forgot to use it altogether. Hi, Jay. How are you? Still at work? Aw. Thanks for catching me live while you're still at work. What an honor. Oh, yay. I'm glad. It was amazing. And for, okay, you still hear me good. All right. Just going to quickly address something. We've had a group member that others might have already friended at this point, that it came to my attention through various private messages that this person was reaching out and causing issues with community members within the group. That has been addressed. The person has been removed from the group. So FYI, they might rant and rave about it. Who knows? But yeah, I know for a fact because I was also being spammed daily by the person. So many others were getting spammed and also getting confrontational type messages. So we just remove those energies. They've been around for long enough to get the gist and to take accountability and do the work, or to stay stuck. So hopefully they will grow. The seeds have been planted, but we do not allow any of that type of behavior within our community. And those who do cause issues like that will be removed. So it is what it is. Yeah, Jay, you're always at work. It's so true. It's someone who also has the name of someone else that's currently watching, Holly. I'll say that. And I have mentioned it already. So. Same Z's, but not the same vibe. Okay, now that that's out of the way, emotional release, fitting and appropriate for also that announcement. So emotional release, okay? Honor your emotions, allow them to move through you whenever you are triggered. Don't try to bypass it, okay? Don't try to love and light it to death, because it's not going to work. You do need to feel these things, validate them, express them in a healthy way, and then release them, okay? I'm sure you can put it together, Holly. Honoring your energy. Emotional release is honoring your energy. It is validating these emotions that exist, and you're valid because you exist. So how are your emotions any different? Okay. So honor yourself, honor your energy, allow these emotions to surface and to move through you, release them in a healthy way, and come back to balance. We have forgiveness. Okay, forgiveness is not about the other person. Forgiveness is releasing the hold that they carry over you because your emotional response to their energy, right? If you have some kind of a triggered, heightened emotional response with regard to someone's energy, then that is a big sign that there is still healing to be done. So, as you're moving through these triggers, as these emotions are coming up for release, honor them and honor yourself by forgiving the situation and all involved. It does not make anything they've ever done or said or whatever okay. All right. It just means that they no longer have that emotional hold over you. You no longer serve your power on a silver platter to them. Okay. Omens, signs, you're bringing that light to the darkness. You're bringing awareness to your shadows. Um, and if you're this far in your spiritual journey to where any of this resonates with you at all, you will have signs. Okay, you will see the signposts, the angel numbers, the animal messengers, all these different things, and we're going to talk a little bit about that and how these animal messengers could very well be your guides taking a physical shape to guide you in a physical way. So pay attention to the signs, the synchronicities, the numbers, everything that is taking place as you are shifting and moving through this energy. This is bringing you movement into balance. Crow, you've been seeing crows. Crows are very spiritually significant. They are ushers. They do signify endings and new beginnings. But also the number of them that you see. Like this has been a few weeks ago. I told everybody about this. For like a week, I was seeing 2 crows, and then it went down to 1, and then it went back up to 2, and then it went to 4. So pay attention to the number. If it's the same number that shows up, then that is significant for you too. But if not, if you're just, seeing the animal itself or in various numbers at different times, then it would be the spirit essence of that animal. Only one. Okay. And a bluebird. Aw. I've been seeing bluebirds and blue jays and jays everywhere, and you guys know about my jay that is in my day-to-day, my bestie. So yeah, they're messengers, and just kind of research it, Google it or Chat GPT, whatever, and see what you gather, what resonates for you from, what other sources say those things can mean, but also pay attention to your own interpretations of those signs, okay? Um, Entertain both. Find out how you feel, what you're picking up, what guidance you're picking up from the situation, but then also see what other sources have to say. It's your uncle. Oh, I love that. And then, maybe there's a common thread, or maybe it'll serve as some kind of contrast to help you see a deeper meaning. So definitely do that. So movement into balance and integration. You're integrating all of these things. Master number 33. Okay. There's a snake on this card. We're in the year of the wood snake. We are shedding that which no longer serves us, things that we've outgrown. It's itchy, it's uncomfortable, it's starting to crack and feel yucky. So they're like, let it go. And it's kind of like a fluttering, like birds, fluttering their wings, or like jazz hands, I guess. So allow these things to pass through you and release them, because they are bringing you to a new day. Card number 11, that is alignment. Dragonflies symbolize transformation, and this transformation is bringing you, ta-da, the sun, the happiest card in the deck. Your source, your joy, your inspiration, your confidence, okay? These are the things that are allowing you to learn lessons, but also giving you that opportunity to be able to pass this knowledge, this wisdom onto others. So someone might be called to start gaining a presence, an online presence, or a presence within your community, starting some kind of a project, business, podcast, YouTube channel, TikTok, whatever it is. They're saying yes. They're saying yes. This is you're meant to share and spread knowledge and wisdom. You're meant to teach. So if that resonates for you, then definitely go down that path, because we have the Chariot, bottom of the deck, okay, with that camel, brings his water with him, and then lovely camel lumps. And then right behind that we have the High Priestess. So you're seeing things clearly. You are connected. You are meant to be what we would consider like a spiritual elder, some kind of an elder, someone who has been through it, experienced it, and gained the wisdom and the patience and the balance to be able to hand down this wisdom. Hey, Dallas, that's you. Yes, it is. Hey, Anna. If you guys are looking for animal communications or animal Reiki, whether receiving that from the practitioner, which is Dallas, and her lovely equine companions, or if you are needing some energy healing for your animals, then please reach out to Dallas. I shared a post on Facebook the other day of hers, so that's her information. Dallas, if you can put your information here in the comments, I'll highlight that so everyone knows how to get a hold of you. Hi, Sue. How are you, darling? So, High Priestess talks about also embodying the vision. Okay. She first perceives it in her intuition in whatever way. Okay. And then she embodies that information, that wisdom, and then she projects that out. So, whatever you're being guided towards, this new path, take it. Definitely do it. Two of Wands, do it. Two of Wands is starting new paths, new contracts. This could be signing contracts or something, some kind of an agreement. Doesn't necessarily have to be a legally binding contract. Blue Moon Equine. Thank you. Yes, Blue Moon Equine on Facebook. You can get a hold of her and book through that page. So definitely get a hold of her if you're looking for any kind of animal communication or energy healing. Okay. She's amazing. Oh, and that's a crow too. You're right, Matt. Thank you. She is a crow. Look at that. Looky there. There's your sign, Cassandra. You see it. You know it. Follow the crow, because that's taking you chariot, moving forward in a really big way. These are both major arcana. This signifies significant life shifts and changes, okay? Especially with that Two of Wands there. It's like this is stepping through that portal energy on this Two of Wands here. That doorway is a portal to another world. It's not inside in this stuffy, old, outdated house. It is outside in a lovely meadow with beautiful clouds and clear blue skies, not clear obviously because there's clouds, but you know what I mean, like crystal clear blue, I guess is where I got that. Anyway, you have the key. You have already unlocked the door. You just need to step through, and it's going to require intense healing. We have the Three of Swords. This is showing up in the upright as well. So that Three of Swords talks about healing, about pain and heartbreak. Okay, you're healing from major pain and heartbreak. You're tapping into that intuition and you're doing the work, and this is what's getting you to move forward. So hold those boundaries. We have the Nine of Wands showing up in the upright. Definitely place those boundaries and move accordingly. Okay. Don't let people infringe on your boundaries and then just treat you like a doormat and use you whenever they want to pick you up and put you back down anytime they want. Okay. Boundaries. This is what brings you to wish fulfillment. Nine of Cups. Okay. So boundaries are like the biggest form of self-love. Okay. I don't care what anyone says. If you don't have boundaries, you don't have self-respect. Therefore, you don't truly have self-love. Okay. Self-love is unconditional. And if you want someone else to love you unconditionally, you must unconditionally love yourself first and hold those boundaries. Because I guarantee any of you that do not have those boundaries, I have the garbage truck going by right now, guys, so sorry. Any of you that do not have those boundaries or enforce your boundaries, people are going to take advantage of that, right? But if someone places a boundary with you, you're going to respect that, aren't you? I know you are. I know you are. There are those of us who have issues with boundaries and with enforcing those. And still, we will observe even the strictest boundary that makes absolutely no sense to us because someone else placed a boundary, and we are respectful of their boundaries because we wish people would respect ours. So it's time to start enforcing those boundaries. Respect is earned. Okay. And if you're just going to make yourself a doormat for someone, they are not going to respect you because you don't have the cojones to enforce those boundaries and say, hey, no, you done tripped up. You're not crossing this boundary. Okay. Get lost. Or some big, confrontation where you're saying you're going to observe these boundaries or you're going to get the fuck out. All right. So Six of Swords in the reverse. On this card, this bunny is just sitting on the side of the road on top of her suitcase, and the turtle is catching up to her, and she's just sitting there like, Okay, it did come up in the reverse, but I want to show you this picture. Six of Swords, the overthinking you, stopping you from, embarking on that path or pursuing what you want. Hey, Mike, how are you, love? Nice to see you. But this shows up in the reverse, so you're no longer doing that, okay? And it's like you can't hold yourself back to wait for another person and expect your opportunities, expect these circumstances to still be there by the time you get there with this person, okay? The same thing, like you cannot wait for circumstances to be perfect before you go seizing opportunities or creating this new path, because this happens a lot with parenting, right? People will say you're never going to be prepared to be a parent, so you might as well just do it and learn along the way. I know I'm butchering that, but basically you're not going to be equipped. You're not going to be ready. You can prepare and prepare and prepare, and something that child does is going to be something that you have not even fathomed preparing for. So circumstances are never going to be perfect. So just do it. Okay. Stop keeping yourself out in the cold. Stop focusing on all the lack and observing the lack that's in your experience, just further getting you to manifest more to lack. Okay. You're overcoming these things. That's why the Five of Pentacles, even though it did show up in the upright, it showed up right next to that Six of Swords in the reverse. So you're overcoming the self-sabotaging behavior. You're coming out of that darkness that you've kept yourself shrouded in, like, oh, I'm not good enough, or I'm not qualified enough, or I don't have the skills, or I don't have the this, I don't have the body, I don't have the face, I don't have the money, and whatever. Okay? Stop it. Because someone who unconditionally loved someone wouldn't say, you don't have the skills, you don't have the confidence, you don't have the face, you don't have the body, you don't have the blah, 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 blah. So why are you doing it to yourself? That's what they did. Stop. All of this lack and Queen of Cups reverse energy got you in your feelers, okay? Got you perhaps emotionally imbalanced, triggered, purging a lot at this time. You're not weak because this is happening. This is part of your strength. Strength is showing up in the upright, okay? This is you learning how to tame the beast. And when you're learning, you're not going to be at a level of mastery immediately, are you? Absolutely not. When you're learning, you're not expected to be the master. You're not expected to know it all. So, are you demanding more out of yourself than you do out of others? Is this touching on some kind of perfectionist trait? There's beauty in the messy. There's beauty in the unbecoming. There's beauty in the process of creating the whole picture, right? When someone starts to paint on a canvas, it's not going to look like the masterpiece. Okay, there might be chicken scratch and like weird looking shit everywhere as they're laying the layers of the overall picture. Ask any artist, okay? It's layering. There's shading. There is lining, but there's everything else too. And you have to take into consideration when you first put pen to paper or that paintbrush to the canvas, it's not going to look like the outcome, the overall, finished product. It's not going to look anything remotely like that. So stop trying to be such a perfectionist. Stop judging yourself for not having your shit all together or not being able to master this one thing because you've tried it so many times. You are able, you are fully capable of it. This is mastery and progress. So, feel through those emotions, validate them. Yeah, I know I feel like this. And this is a very valid way to feel. And I feel like this because this is what happened. This is what this is triggering for me. So you need to have grace with yourself. Stop being such a perfectionist. Precious time on the bottom of the deck. The Fairy of Time wants you to experience every moment fully and to make the most of your precious time. Be mindful not to waste others' time either. So, why are you wasting your precious time on beating yourself up and bashing yourself for not being perfect, for not having your shit together, for not being at a level of mastery when you're a novice? Or even if you're seasoned, you're still not at the level of mastery. You're in practice. Okay? So quit wasting your precious time on bashing yourself, on observing all of the negativity, on enhancing every single negative aspect that you can find and looking at it under a microscope, because you're just going to find more. I mean, you can. That's your choice. Go for it. See how far it gets you. Do you enjoy that experience? If you do, go on. Okay? Handle it. We don't allow that around here. Translucent thread work. Gain clarity and self-awareness. Understanding your true essence. So be real with yourself. Okay? Be translucent. Gain clarity from everything that you're currently experiencing, even though it may be painful or frustrating or just completely feel like you're undeserving of it. Okay? Understand what's at play here, that these things are being triggered so that you can heal them. So you no longer focus on those kinds of things and choose those circumstances in your life. Because you have, okay, so people who are holding on to traumas from the past, a person that did them wrong, maybe they had an abusive father figure and then they grew up kind of, and then they left. So I know someone with a story, okay? Left the house at 14, got married to someone in their late 30s, because daddy issues, right? Who ended up being really abusive, who this person had children with them and continued on in the abuse, and then finally were able to leave the situation, only to manifest abusive relationship after abusive relationship after abusive relationship. This person that I know has never gotten out of that cycle, ever. It's something that's difficult to overcome. And we're not all meant to heal those things in this lifetime. But you have that subconscious aspect that is traumatized, that is wounded, that is focusing so hard on getting away from this past situation or person that has wounded them, but they're not seeing that every time they choose another experience, it's cloaked and shrouded until the mask falls off and it's the exact identical energy, just in a different embodiment. Okay? So you need to get real with yourself, gain clarity and self awareness on how this could be remanifesting for you due to something that you have subconsciously blocked or suppressed or haven't quite healed through. Okay. And then give it that validation, sit with it, heal it. You have to do the work. You can't say, oh, I'm going to be a master manifester. I'm just going to manifest the most beautiful life for myself, even though I'm not doing any kind of shadow work and I'm focusing on the same negative shit, the same circumstances that are on repeat, like a broken fucking record in my life right now. Don't want to cycle anymore. Break free. Yes. And it's, yeah, you're trying, you're learning, right? If you are used to a certain way of being or doing or thinking, you're not going to just magically say, I'm not going to think this way anymore. I already have this brand new thought process and this brand new, method laid out to where I can just jump from that life to this one and have it already made. No, we have that in between. We have the learning process. You have to reprogram yourself and your experience if you want different outcomes. And that takes work. It takes dedication. It takes following through with yourself. It takes parenting yourself. So understand where these things are coming from. Spend some time with it. Meditate on it. Okay? And heal it. Shine from within. Looks are only skin deep. True beauty shines from within, and it's time for you to shine. This is a time for self-acceptance and for revealing your true beauty. So underneath all of those perceived flaws and judgments about yourself is your true inherent beauty. Your beauty lies in your authenticity and accountability. Your dad. Aw. Yes, definitely feel through those, Cassandra, and validate those things. Get to the bottom of it. What is this reminding me of? When is the first time I felt this way? When's the last time I felt this way? And come to terms with, sift and sort through that stuff. Yeah. Yeah, we can love those who have wronged us, definitely, especially when it's a parent. So that can be very difficult. We have purity that came out. Always trust in the purity of your heart. Look inside your heart, and within it, you will find the answer to your question. So it is your heart. It is your authenticity. It is you authentically, not you shrouded in all of these, what you should be, what you could be, what you believe, and what other people believe about you. This is healing, stripping yourself down and remembering who you are before you were told who to be. Okay? That is your truth. That is your energy. And if you're not manifesting the things that you want, or you're having a hard time tripping up on it, it may be because you're still vibing at a place that it's tainted by inauthenticity. It could be thoughts and beliefs about, what you were brought up to believe or what was programmed within you. Powerful card, yes. So it's time to strip those away. Is this me or is this not me? Is this what I want? Is this what I don't want? How do I create better for myself? Instead of how do I remove this? How do I not do this anymore? And you're still focusing on the thing that you don't want in there. How can I create something better? Okay. It's time to forward think. It's time to build forward. We can't always build on those old foundations. They're shaky. They got fissures and cracks. It's not solid. It's not sturdy. So sometimes we have to completely bring that wrecking ball through and knock it down, to the ground. Remove the foundations because they weren't solid to begin with. Vibrant visions. Embrace imaginative thinking and manifest your desires through creativity. Creativity is working from that sacral, right? And that's also your authenticity. And if you're not in your authentic energy, you're not going to be as creative. You're not going to be as imaginative. You're not really going to be able to get into the flow if you're not vibing at authenticity. So it's time to get back to what you truly enjoy, what you truly enjoy. What did what would light you up as a child? What got you excited? What kinds of things were you into? What were you interested in before they told you you need to be a doctor, a lawyer, a, politician, whatever? What was it? And do more and more of that, as you can fit it into your busy schedule, take time for your inner child to come out and play, to come out and flourish, because that's how you tap into that authenticity. That's how you tap into that creativity. Protect your dreams. You are the guardian of your precious dreams, and they are safe in your care. Keep them close to your heart until you're ready to release them. We talk about this all the time. Manifestation, a big part of that is keeping these things close to your chest and protecting them, nurturing them, giving them the nutrients that they need to grow to their fullest capacity. But when you go sharing these things, these little seeds that you're caring for with just anyone and everyone, and they feel like trampling them because they don't want you to have that thing, they don't want you to have that bounty, then they sabotage you. Energetically, evil eye, jealousy, envy, all of it can knock off the energy, can throw off the energy of your manifestations if you are connected to these people and you take their energy on for yourself. And these things can be familial connections. These can be even your best friend, right? Your best friend, even if they love you so very much, but they may have a jealousy issue or something like that, can throw off your manifestations if you're sharing everything with them and they're like envious of what you've got going on or what you're thinking about, the way that you're getting into your creativity, and they're just sitting there with not an original bone in their body. Okay. You might love them. They might love you, but they're not always going to have your best intentions at heart. So be mindful of who you share these things with, because the energy, it be thick right now, y'all. That's what I'm getting. Like, it is thick right now. People casting just envy and jealousy. It's because so many people are experiencing triggers of lack at this time, in whatever way lack is for them. Okay, it's not always about finances. So if someone comes to them with, oh my gosh, look at this thing that I'm manifesting, look at the signs and all this bounty that's coming to me, in whatever form that takes for them, someone who's stuck in lack is going to feel envious and jealous more often than not. Okay, so protect your energy, protect your dreams, and don't say anything until the time is right. Resilient repairs, meet challenges with openness and uncover strength through the process of repair. Yeah, nasty attitude still. Good, Matt. Good. Protect that stuff, okay? You're sometimes you have to also protect your dreams from yourself, especially if you're feeling kind of salty that day. And then you're, that light side of yourself is like, hey, I'm gonna go create blah blah blah, and it's gonna be so wonderful and twinkly and lovely. And then the other part of you is like, bitch, we just stubbed our toe 5 minutes ago. The fuck are you talking about? Okay, so protect your own energies from yourself at times. Oversharing isn't self-caring. Absolutely. I'm still guilty of that, Matt. I'm still working on that one because I tend to like get excited about stuff and then I want to share it with people. So I'm still working on that one, but I do mostly consciously share with those who I can trust with that energy. But I slip up from time to time, we're all human. So I'll probably work on that one for a long time still yet, but that's okay. Meet these challenges with openness and uncover the strength, right? We got that strength card that's surrounded by the Queen of Cups reversed and that Five of Pentacles, right? So use these situations where things might not be going your way, or these towers happen, these triggers happen, and use them to your own benefit. What is this highlighting for me? What can I learn about myself? And fix those things. Spend time healing those things, or coming up with a plan on how you can do things differently moving forward, how you can restructure, reconfigure to get things moving in a positive way. But definitely don't spend too much time wallowing in the energy that I just kind of made a skit for you on, where you stubbed your toe and now you're in a bad mood, but the other side of you is being all positive and la la la. Don't stay there. Feel it. Fuck, I stubbed my toe. But you know what? I see that whenever something like this happens in my reality and something's not going right, even if it's stubbing my toe, catching my pocket on the handle of the door when I'm in a hurry, that's my cue, my omen, right? My omen, my sign that I need to slow it down. Okay. I need to stop, do some breath work, ground myself, come into balance, and then proceed. Okay. Oh, yeah, I remember I'm a magical fucking being and I can slow time down. So I got this. And even if I do get there late, perhaps catching myself on this door or stubbing my toe or whatever is saving me from some larger inconvenience or even keeping you safe from harm. Aw. Oh, I love that, Wendy. That's okay. That's totally excusable, talking on the phone to your sweet niece. So use these triggering times, use these turbulent and chaotic times to be able to regain your footing, train yourself to regain your footing quicker and easier, even throughout these turbulent energies, instead of, oh, something rocked my boat. Now I've got, plenty of time to come back into balance, come back into harmony, and recenter myself, refocus, and move forward. Sometimes it ain't like that. Life be lifing out here, okay? So you might have blow-ups all around you for a period of a couple of weeks or months or whatever happens for you, right? And these times are not trying to knock you down. They're not trying to take you out. They're not trying to do any of that. This is your opportunity to use these situations and harness that energy so that you can be more resilient. You can build on those reflexes, right? Think of yourself training like an athlete. And I'm not an athlete, okay? I'll be the first to admit. I just told my kids the other day again, like, you guys are running for fun. Psh, you see me running, you better run too, because that means something's after us. Okay. So I am spiritually ripped though. So I will say that I am spiritually ripped. Okay. I have been through hell and back, sometimes 5 times in one day. Okay. So I was able to use that to make myself more resilient. And no, that's not this huge badge of honor to be resilient. You shouldn't have to be, but here we are. We're on the earth plane. That's the rules of the game. Okay. So what are you going to do? Are you going to just continue to just lay on the ground in the middle of the game while everyone around you is playing and up on their game, or falling down or doing whatever the hell they're doing? Because they're all erratic. They're everywhere. There's from winners to losers all over the place. And you're just going to lay there and cry and kick and scream in the middle of the shit whenever people are going to be stepping on your ass. Okay. So are you going to stay there for a while and just let people run over the top of you and, get shit kicked? Or are you going to get up and do something about it? I know me, and I know I'm going to get up and I'm going to do something about it. And you step on my fingers, we're going to fight. Okay. So get up. All right. It's okay to get kicked down. It's okay to be there for a while and feel all those things. But we don't wallow there. We move through them. We harness that energy to make us stronger. And that's exactly what you're doing. Okay. Strength card is in the center of the reading with teaching right beneath it. You are learning so that you can pass this forward. Energy continues to move. So once it moves through you, okay, it's going to move through others. They're going to feel the beginning to the end of that energy. They're going to feel the triggering, the, whatever it is, the climactic point of it. And they're also going to overcome it because you did, because energetically now that pathway is cleared for them. So whether you know them or not, or ever come into contact with them or not, you have created an energetic pathway for that next person's healing because they're experiencing a similar wave of that energy that you've already overcome. Okay. Serene sanctuary. Find inner peace and serene sanctuary amidst life's challenges in your journey. Okay, come back to center, go within. Do that hypnosis that I did yesterday on the podcast. You can find it on YouTube or on Facebook right now. Facebook will delete it after 30 days. So if you're watching this post 30 days, then go over to my YouTube channel. It will be there. But this is coming back to center, breathing, grounding, using these challenges and your knowledge about them and how they came to be and how they're playing out in your life to create a new pattern. Okay. It's not ever easy to reprogram, to create new patterns, to create new habits. It's never easy. No one ever told you that. And if they did, they lied to you. Okay. It's not going to be easy. It's going to be painful. It's going to be, unbearable at times. Trust me, I've been there several times in my life. I've experienced some shit. I've been through the trenches, and I promise you, I know. I have gone through shit that I shouldn't even be sane today. Okay? I've gone through hell and back many times. And you know what? Those demons are my friends. I got them on a leash. All right? And that's exactly what you're doing. But it's not going to be fun, not going to be easy, not going to be a quick trip either. Okay? It moves in divine timing, and it moves with your alignment. So if you want to be in alignment with something higher and something better for yourself, then baby, you better start doing that work. You got to climb that mountain. No one else is going to climb it for you. Okay? Your guides can't do it for you. They can guide you. They can give you pointers, but you're the one embodied in this physical vessel right now, not them. Okay? So you're the one. You're the star. Okay? So act like it, embody it, become it, and then live it, because it'll be in your circumstances all around you. Love you guys. Nerve-wracking at times, absolutely, Matt. Absolutely. Even whenever you're a seasoned pro and you've been through it and you know how to handle it, it's still it still sucks. It's nerve-wracking to say the least, all right? But once you have overcome things, you might come back around to hit a higher level of mastery again and again and again. It's not always just revisiting it on the healing spiral until it's healed. Sometimes it's revisiting things that are similar, same spiral, but you're not healing. You're already done the healing, but now you're reaching higher levels of mastery because either this lifetime or some other one, you're going to be training others just like you have been training yourself this whole time. You're welcome, Katie. So we're talking about spirit guides today. And no, I'm not going to tell you who your guides are, what their names are, how many you have, or anything like that, because we just do not have the time. So that is something that can be obtained through you, through meditation, through hypnosis. We have Matt, who is amazing, and he is in his internship with SCHH. I also do hypnosis. I have past life regressions and quantum hypnosis available for booking on my website. But you can absolutely reach this information in a simple meditation. Thanks, guys. I love you. Yes, we are becoming. I love it, Wendy. Love it, love it, love it. Suzanne, hello. Welcome, welcome, darling. I just finished the reading, but we're going to get into chatting about the topic for probably I got about 20 minutes left that I can chat. You guys are so welcome. Thank you. And then I got to go pick up my boys from school, and I got my car back, and I told you guys that I went to town and everything went fine. It made it there and back without any issues. So yeah, I'm super excited. I've got my wheels back now and they're working properly. Thank you, Matt. But I wanted to talk about spirit guides because a lot of people have questions about them. If you want like a guided meditation or something like that, there's tons of free ones on YouTube. I don't know if Matt has one already created, Matt, to meet your spirit guides. We've done some in the past with my former co-host guiding those, but we obviously do not have those anywhere in internet land anymore. And I may actually do, maybe we'll do another, maybe we'll do another meditation type thing this week so that we can meet the spirit guides, and I'll do an in-depth one so that we can orchestrate that and facilitate that for you guys, because it can be difficult to find out this information, because when you're so focused on it and you want to logic everything to death, it's really difficult to find the answers. Okay, not yet. Okay. Yes, my magic car is back on the road. It's held together by new parts and magic now. So, um, but your guides aren't always going to be what you would expect them to be either. Okay. Some of them will be just frequencies. I have frequency as my guide, right? So some of them will be frequencies, some of them will be light, some of them will be light beings that don't have a physicality or don't really have a density on their level, but they're communicating to you through your psychic senses. You can have dragons, you can have fairies, you can have, the list goes on and on. Okay, you can have Arcturians to Urmah to Pleiadian guides or whatever extraterrestrials, you know. There, the list is endless because these guides are versions of you. Okay, and in the most broad term, all of them are a version of you. Okay, because we are all source, we are all one. There is no difference from one soul to the other at that higher level. At the lower levels, where we get the soul threads, the fractals of energy from the same source, but now each thread has its own consciousness and its own blueprints, its own energies, its own missions, and things that it's meant to experience or wants to experience, right? That has the desires, and each one has different desires. So when we get down to that level, many times, okay, more often than not, your guides that are guiding you are other lifetime experiences that you have, okay? Because everything is happening all at once. Chronological order is only a human concept. Time is a human concept, okay? So everything's happening at once. So they are multiple different versions of you that you're drawing on these experiences or this wisdom, this information pertaining to what you're doing in this specific mission, this lifetime, okay? So, and then you'll have soul family and even family from family, friends, soul connections from this lifetime. After they cross over, a lot of times they will also become one of your guides. And I've met and had many clients who we've detected one of their crossed over loved ones, you know, specifically either by name or who they represent, that shows up as their guide, and they confirm, yes, I know that, I can feel them. So you will, there are different ways that guides can manifest for you. I even had a client who had someone who was like a family friend that they weren't all that close to, but they also witnessed them passing away in a tragic way. Somehow that person became their guide after they crossed over, and they, you know, they didn't really have a super deep connection with one another in life. But, you know, things happen the way that they happen for reasons. So, when you are trying to find out who your guides are, or what, a lot of people are focused on the names, or what kind of experiences they had, why they're here, what they're bringing, which they give that to you in the moment whenever you need it. And it's the human mind's way of understanding things at a deeper level when they have all the details they can possibly get. So a lot of times people want to know the name, the purpose, what they did, where they're from, these specific labels. Mine is named Gloria, who was past madam during the 1700s. Her life was taken. Was a beautiful woman and soul. Aw, that's cool, Cassandra. Thank you for sharing that with us. So, like with me, I didn't really have a connection, like a need to track down what kind of embodiments these energies that I know as my guides took. But once it finally came out, which I never went seeking the information, it just kind of all happened, probably because I wasn't looking for it. Oh, I love that. That's awesome, Cassandra. I'm glad. That's really helpful. One of my guides is water. Who would have thought, right? One of my guides is a frequency. Who would have thought? One of my guides is a dragon. Okay. Then we have light. Okay. And then you'll have guides that come in just for brief periods of time, for a single phase, a single chapter, or just to bring you a certain bit of guidance that gets you from the in-between to somewhere else. You thought she was an entity? Yeah. So, and people can come to that conclusion sometimes whenever their guides are showing up as something that they didn't anticipate. Sorry, I had a phone call coming in. Can you guys hear me? I want to make sure that you can hear me before I keep going. Okay. I'm going to wait for you guys to say yes or no. Can you guys hear me? Okay, cool. All right, good. I just wanted to make sure because I did not put my phone on do not disturb because, you know, school's still in session. So if my kids need me, I have to be ready to answer that call. But yeah. All right, cool. Thank you guys. So sometimes when people are picking up on, especially if they're not really confident in their intuitive gifts yet, or someone outside of them, like they go to a reader or some kind of practitioner that brings forth this information for them, they might not believe it because they're like, why is a madam, you know, from one of those houses, how is that guiding me? Well, confidence, right? Femininity, embracing the femininity, even when it's frowned upon, okay, or suppressed, or imprisoned, or name it, okay, name the awful things that the patriarchy has done to the matriarchy, okay. So people will be like, you know, they'll develop that fear, like, oh my gosh, I have this attachment, it won't leave me alone, and it keeps telling me to do stuff, it keeps telling me to follow, or I keep getting these visions or whatever, and it can drive you crazy. You're driving yourself crazy because you're not believing what you know inherently to be true, that, oh, this is a guide, they're supposed to be here, they're helping me work on this, they just might not come in the package that you would expect. He looked at your godmother like, what? That's funny. So yeah, like the first guide that I was aware of in this way of having the labels for was water. And I'm like, water. Okay. And I had already been so, you know, closely connected with water. And I had already read all of Dr. Emoto's research on water and how it communicates and how it structures itself depending on the energy or the word. Okay. So I knew all of this. And I had to sit with that for a minute because I was like, I'm thinking water. Like, okay, that's a bit vague, you know? But then once I sat with it, I'm like, okay, yeah, I can see because I'm so connected to water. I just always have been, in different ways. Just um, even like with my business, all of my advertisements had something to do with water. Okay. And I was always drawn to these themes regarding the version of water you could say is my guide, which is from the waters of Lemuria. So I had all of these. I mean, come on, my tattoos and stuff. This is all like um, tropical jungle type stuff. And I'm not from a tropical jungle, but I just everything, it was a theme in my life, water and like this lush, beautiful scene. And I didn't know where it came from. It was a thing. It was part of me, and that was just what I liked, I thought. But what I realized after doing a self hypnosis was that what I've always been drawn to and what I've always seen, those were brought up in my hypnosis when I went back to Lemuria in one of my own sessions. So uh, it makes so much sense. The more you give it the room and the more you kind of broaden yourself and your understanding. Because if I told a client who is new to their spiritual journey, water's your guide, they're going to think tap water, like, what am I supposed to do with this? How is water? But water holds information. Water has touched everything. There's nothing that water hasn't touched. Water carries frequencies. Water, think of sonar under the ocean. It carries frequencies. It can be programmed. It can be high frequency. It can be low frequency. It can be all of these things. So when you are trying to connect with these guides, setting the intention to being open to however they come through is very important. Because if you're expecting something and you're chasing down this information or this validation, then you've already got yourself, the tunnel vision on one specific thing. And it may not be anything like that. All the history is in the water still. Yeah. Yes. So a lot of people will think, oh, it's, my guide has to be someone that's known on Earth or has had Earth experiences because you're a human on Earth right now, right? But no, you can have intergalactic guides. You can have interdimensional guides. You can have any kind of guides. And the things that you're drawn to and interested in are always going to hold the clues to your own soul's frequency, these other experiences that you have had, but also the guides, the soul family that may not be embodied in this lifetime, walking this lifetime with you, but they very much are walking this lifetime with you on the other side. Okay. And we'll definitely have to maybe we'll do that tomorrow. Do a guided meditation to meet your spirit guides and to understand them. Maybe we'll do like the main two, because I don't think we'd have time for much more than that. But I really feel like we're being guided to do a guided meditation to meet your guides. Okay. So it's all about guidance this week. Does anyone have any questions or any stories? Anything that I know I didn't cover everything. The phone call kind of threw me off and I'm still kind of eyeballing the time because I don't have long before I have to go pick up my kids. So any questions, or like I said, experiences that you want to share about your own guides? Thanks, Matt. I always knew that I had my guides there, but they didn't start to take form until like a year and a half ago. Yes, please. Okay, Linda, we'll do that tomorrow. But I didn't feel the desire to really understand them in more tangible ways, because the way that I connect naturally is just by frequencies, just by knowing and receiving and sending the information. It doesn't matter what physicality or embodiment that it takes, right? So for me, I didn't go chasing those things down because it didn't really matter to me. I knew them at a soul level, and I knew the sense of familiarity and trust, and I just knew. So I didn't have to know anything else about them until I was actually being pushed out into, interacting in a bigger way within the spiritual community, podcasting, right? And then that's when everyone else's demands or their questions, what they have for themselves, I'm also going to have to experience those things so that I can, you know, relay that information, so that I can pass that on down. So I know, because I didn't go chasing it, it just presented itself to me at the right time. That's divine timing. But if you are feeling drawn to learn more about your guides, then it doesn't mean that you're not going to receive that information, or that you don't need to, because it's all about divine timing. Absolutely not, because divine timing could be giving you the desire to open up to this information coming in. I asked for confirmation that my guides were around. I was in meditation with chill music playing. My TV switches off. I'm back. I'm like, gotta switch it back on. TV numbers were 1212. I love that so much. That is awesome, Matt. Right? They're just keeping you out of trouble and keeping you alive. Yep. But, just because you start wondering, or you're curious about these details about your guides, does not mean that you're being too left-brained or anything like that. So let's get that clear. It could be, now is the time for you to reach deeper understanding and deeper information. Therefore, you're being given the desire to connect in a different way. To be quite frank, a couple might get annoyed at me. I think that's probably just the same for everyone, right? Because they can throw all of the signs and stuff at us, but they can't physically intervene. So imagine how frustrating it is for someone to be like trying to shout or throw signs at someone through like a wormhole, and they're like hitting them all over the place, and they're just like, huh? What? Who's there? It would be exhausting, I think. Yes, they forgive, but they want better. They're just going to guide you. There's no judgment with them, because it's like, you're either going to get it this time or you're not. If you don't get it this time, we'll just work on it next time. And, a lifetime for them over there is just like the snap of a finger, a blink of an eye. Time doesn't exist. So they're just like, okay. But if you have this mission that you're meant to accomplish, they're obviously going to push you and knock you down a few times to get you to, like, we're shoving you like cattle into this direction because that's the gate you chose. This is the appointed time. This is the circumstances you chose. You agreed. You want to do this on this side, but your human over there is losing the signal because they're shorting themselves out from being overstimulated, overstressed, constantly in that slavery cycle, and they're not able to really tap into the broader part of them because they're so focused on the physical all the time. So that's why meditation is so important. You want to make them proud, make yourself proud, because they are you. Okay, so make yourself proud. Do it for you, no one else. Do it for you. And that is where you'll find the most fulfillment. Okay, so I don't see any questions coming through. I know you guys know a lot about guides. Tomorrow I'll be able to expand a little bit more on this, and then we'll do a guided meditation to meet your guides. We did include them yesterday in the hypnosis, but your guides can be there and handling you, and you could be meditating and experiencing them in this way, but not really be able to focus on them so much, because that meditation or that hypnosis was tailored to focusing on yourself and what's going on. So we will make a specific meditation for you to come face to face, so to speak, with a couple of your guides and see what happens for you. Keep getting confirmation. This is my last life. Makes sense. Happy. I've had enough now. Well, Matt, there's never a last life. You're always going to go on somewhere else and do something else. And even if you mastered everything on a singular soul level, then you will start with these groups, your soul family, soul tribe on the other side. Then you will start to co create beings, and that's where you get multiple beings inhabiting the same soul. It's like they all create a single thread, and that's like their soul tribe baby, and then that goes on to further expand the experience. So it gets kind of confusing a little bit, but whenever you understand it, it's like, oh yeah, it all makes sense. So I know it kind of sounds crazy, but it's the truth. Oh, on Earth, perhaps. But remember, Earth isn't going to be the same way it is right now because things are shifting. This is going to become, again, like the vacation spot that it was, the perfection and beauty that it was. So you might, again, get in line to get a vessel on the new Earth. So you never know. But definitely on the old Earth, it's the last time. All right, you guys, I love you so much. It's 111 into the podcast. And on that note, I'm going to let you guys get back to your day and go pick up my children from school. I will see you guys tomorrow. We're going to do that guided meditation to meet your guides as we've been guided to do. I love you guys so much. I will see you tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, and 1 a.m. British Summer Time for the 14th of May. I love you guys so much. I will see you tomorrow. Mwah. Take care.